Oh, we're back. Just finished Espeon and we got Umbreon. So Umbreon, probably a fan favorite. I mean, they all are fan favorites, not gonna lie, but Umbreon is pretty cool. One of my favorite, one of my more, what am I trying to say? God, one of my favorite designs of the evolutions. I'm not too crazy about Umbreon in general, but it's a pretty cool. I like the color scheme. I like the vibe of it. Um, I would still say I prefer Vaporeon, but Umbreon's chill. So Umbreon, like I said, so okay, actually disclaimers. So if I'm getting burnt out on these, if you can't tell, but I want to get them all done because I mean I don't want to continue ahead and then not ever do them because I'm never going to go back and do them all. So I may as well just record them now. That doesn't mean I'm rushing, especially because this one actually interests me. Not that the other ones don't. I don't want to sound negative. Let me just stop fucking whining and then speak. So, so we got Umbreon. If you're curious about evolution method, and why that is, watch the Eevee video. It's like 10 minutes long. It'll answer your questions in like the first 5 minutes probably, if you're curious about that. I don't feel like really explaining myself or repeating myself more than I already do. So Umbreon, major changes for Umbreon, major. Probably one of the biggest changes overall. Him and like probably Leafeon are most changed stat-wise. Excuse me. So when applicable, each of them have at least one elemental ability because there's one elemental ability for each type. So there's the terrains, or surges rather. There is the weather abilities, then there's Dark and Fairy Aura, and that covers all 8 types, which is really nice. So hence why all of them have those as abilities. Dark Aura Umbreon is actually very powerful because, so while Psychic Surge and Drought give you a 50% boost, Dark Aura only gives you 30%, but there is no negative side effect to Dark Aura other than the fact that I think technically the opponent's Dark type moves are also boosted. Let me actually check on that though. Yeah, all Pokemon on the field, so I was right. So yeah, I guess technically you take 30% more from Dark moves, but like, oh no, it's not a big deal. All right, so under these situations, you actually might want Intimidate for that very reason, but overall, like, it's not a big deal. That's not really a negative side effect, at least for Umbreon. For Sylveon, it more so is, because Fairy does not resist Fairy, but Dark resists Dark. But for Umbreon, it's not a problem, really. So these are the like, Psychic Surge negates priority moves on your side if they're grounded on whatever you're targeting. So if you're targeting something that's grounded, you can't use priority on the Drought. Fucks with Wither team moves, fucks with your ability to hit strong water type moves, blah, blah, blah. Electric Surge prevents sleep, so if you want to use sleeping moves on Pokemon, you can't do that. Drizzle, same thing as Drought, just the other way around. So you guys get the idea. Dark Aura has much less negative side effects, but the boost is smaller as an exchange. So with Stab, so the thing is, you guys might be thinking, oh, well, adaptability is the same boost. A lot of people think that. I actually at one point thought that. Adaptability is a flat 2x boost, meaning it does not stack with Stab. Adaptability is just turns. Adaptability transforms the Stab multiplier from 1.5 to 2 times. So it doubles your Stab instead of giving you 50% boost. It's not a 50% boost to your Stab moves, because if that was the case, then it would be 50%. Sorry, 2.2. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you already have Stab, so if you had that, like for example, with Ruthless, it gives you a 50% boost to crit moves. That's a 2.25 boost. Fire type moves with Drought are 2.25. Water type moves with Drizzle are 2.25. So when you do Stab with Dark Aura, you have a 1.95 times boost with Dark Aura. So literally, this is like 5% off of adaptability boost. So that's to put the power into perspective. It's almost adaptability, just under. So that's really powerful. And like I said, Umbreon stats are tweaked. So all of them now have 65 base HP because most of them already had that anyways, and they're all tiny and size is based on HP. So 65 HP for all of them, very reasonable, very logical. 80 base defense is nerfed as well because looking at Umbreon, that is not a bulky looking thing. I mean, it's a cat dog thing. That's it. So it has a decent defense stat because it is Umbreon, and so I'm not completely insane. I'm not going to make it 60 base defense. Same thing with Vaporeon because they are bulkier, so they need the bulk. So it still has a good 80 defense stat, but the advantage is, so in exchange for losing HP and defense, you gain 2 amazing abilities, because before Umbreon's abilities were kind of fucking useless. You gain 2 amazing abilities, and you gain a big special attack boost with Dark Aura, and you gain a big speed boost with, again, Dark Aura. Also, just having the speed is useful for utility sets as well. So with Intimidate, Umbreon is actually physically bulkier than it used to be, because it used to have a base 110 defense stat, but with Intimidate, at -1 attack, -1 attack is a -1/3 drop from attack. So if you switch it in once on a physical attacker that doesn't have crit moves or isn't immune to stat drops or whatever the fuck, you know, if you get the Intimidate off properly, then you're bulkier than you used to be. I don't know exactly the calcs with HP nerf as well. I'm not positive. I could do it right now, but I'm way too fucking lazy. I would assume that it's probably slightly less bulky overall, but you can Intimidate cycle. But in terms of pure defense numbers, it is bulkier for sure. But when you factor in HP drop, then yeah, physically it's definitely not as bulky even with Intimidate. But Intimidate makes it very physically bulky regardless. Okay, it's still taking physical hits much nicer. Intimidate. So you're kind of picking between the raw power from Dark Aura or the utility of Intimidate. So you're swapping between as you need with ability capsules. Those are infinite use, so you can just switch it on as much as you need it. You have Parting Shot with Intimidate is really useful. You have dual screens. You have Toxic Spikes. So the reason for Poison Heal also and Sludge Bomb and Venom Shock is because Umbreon, actually, if you guys didn't know, was planned to be Poison type in the beta for Gold and Silver before they added Dark type. Actually, I think it was even after they added Dark type. But there's a lot of dex entries that talk about how yeah, spraying Poisonous Sweat from its pores, Poisonous Sweat from its pores, Poisonous Sweat sprays the opponent's eyes, blah blah blah. I considered giving like Acid Spray, but it doesn't really strike me as acid necessarily, so I didn't bother. But you know, I think having a couple TMs and Toxic as by level up, because Toxic is no longer a TM, is good enough for Umbreon. And then of course trainers only instead of being Evo Boost is actually Poison Heal because of how fitting it is. I really wish they gave Umbreon Poison Heal in the real games. I'm not gonna lie, it would be so much better. I don't know why they gave that fucker Inner Focus and then Espeon gets Magic Bounce. It's so unfair. But Poison Heal would be so much better for it. So cool and fun and competitive. It would be so fucking evil. But anyways, Poison Heal is just good for trainers to use with like Wish, Toxic, Stall bullshit. You know, you guys get the idea. Not that crazy. It retains its base 130 split F, so that's excellent with Intimidate. And then again, 95 special attack with Dark Aura. Like Specs Night Burst with Dark Aura is really strong. Really strong. Believe it or not. It is dealing a lot of damage. So that's really awesome for Umbreon to have. It's much less passive now. It can actually deal fucking damage. I considered making it more mixed or even more physical because of the dex entries, but I like all the evolutions being special. It fits more, so especially because all of these types are special pre-physical special split as well, so that's pretty cool. Either way, what was I saying, y'all? Yeah, you have a lot of really good stuff with Dark Aura, so you can abuse Night Burst, which is priority, 50 base power, Dismal Cry, 60 base power, -1 special attack, Dark Pulse, 85 base power, 20% flinch rate, and also an Inflex Nightmare, but that's not relevant because Umbreon gets nothing to put the opponent to sleep besides Yawn from EV at level 33 if you wanted to do that, which is actually not a terrible option. Level 33 is not that crazy to keep it until, so you can actually get Yawn on all of these guys. Every single one gets Yawn. They all get all of the moves that EV does. So like Charm, for example, you have Charm at level 30. When you evolve, you get Charm. Wish, Fake Tears, Tearful Look, Baby Doll Eyes, that kind of shit. Encore, lots of useful utility on Umbreon. Toxic at 35, Moonlight for reliable recovery, Torment and Memento are niche but useful. Torment especially is really good with Protect. Payback is there just because like it does have Swords Dance, so you can Payback is 120 base power guaranteed now because I made it 60 base power, but it's not as priority. But you don't even have to get hit for Payback to double. All you have to do is move second. So as long as you move second or you're the last thing to move in that turn, Payback is dealing, or as long as you move after whatever you are targeting. All right, then you're dealing 120 base power. So despite being only 65 base attack at level 40, a 120 base power at level 40 is really strong. So physical Umbreon is technically usable with Dark Aura, 120 base power payback, with like Nasty Plot is good. You can also just run bulky fucking sets with Foul Play and not run any offensive investment. That's genuinely viable. Foul Play with Dark Aura is extremely powerful on Umbreon. You have good coverage on both sides. They have Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast now because, you know, they're the Moon Pokemon, so makes total sense there. They're very useful coverage on Umbreon to have. Dazzling Gleam because of the whole like their rings light up and glow and shit. Same reason for Power Glow, which is replaced from Tail Glow, so that gives it +3 special attacks. So Dark Aura plus Power Glow, plus a Night Burst is like instant. You're dropping, things are dropping in front of you. The other great thing that it has is that it can actually baton pass all of these boosts. So Umbreon is probably one of the best baton passers out of all of these guys because of the bulk. Flareon is actually bulkier with Fluffy. Flareon's by far the bulkiest evolution, but it's Fluffy. but it doesn't have as much to abuse. It still has good stuff with Baton Pass, but Umbreon has so much with Baton Pass. Um, it has what was I saying? It has Power Glow, so you can Baton Pass +3 special attack. You can Baton Pass Lunar Dance, which gives you is essentially Lunar Dance is literally what Quiver Dance used to do. So Quiver Dance was nerfed to only do attack and speed, as far as special attack and speed, because a lot more has access to it now, so it would be very overpowered otherwise. But Lunar Dance is much less distribution. Only moon-related Pokemon or like moon-esque Pokemon or fairies and shit get it. Things that need it basically, or that make sense for it. Umbreon isn't needed obviously, but it's very useful because 95, 130, 90 are your base stats for special attack, special defense, and speed, and those with Lunar Dance up, even just one Lunar Dance, are amazing, truly amazing. And Lunar Dance is complemented immensely by Intimidate and Dark Aura. So is Power Glow, and Nasty Plot, and Swords Dance, and Calm Mind. All of these moves. Calm Mind obviously is strictly worse than Lunar Dance, although I think Calm Mind technically has more PP, so there's actually situations where Calm Mind is more useful than Lunar Dance. I believe Lunar Dance is only 2 PP, and then Calm Mind is 3. So that's useful as well. But yeah, lots of really awesome stuff here. Like I said, good coverage. You got Signal Beam, you got Oversphere, you got Shadow Ball, Psychic. Well, Shadow Ball is actually not good coverage on a Dark type, but it's just there for logic. And also because they all if you got it. So yeah, I mean, you got really awesome stuff here, y'all. Like early before you get Power Glow at 67 and Lunar Dance at 70, which are obviously insane with Baton Pass, you have Calm Mind and Nasty Plot as like surrogate versions of those. And you also have Agility. You can also Baton Pass all of those stuff, so that's really great to have. Excuse me. And of course, you still have fighting coverage and bug coverage and poison coverage for fairies and all that great shit. So, and you know, Moonblast for dark types and fighting types. It's really, really awesome stuff, y'all. So, and Dazzling Gleam as well. So, really, really strong. Doom Desire is 160 base power and actually can be used to your advantage because you can click Doom Desire and then switch out. Although I believe it won't be Dark Aura boosted anymore. It's still really powerful. Or you can just do like Wish, Doom Desire, Toxic. Oh god, that's evil. Actually, you could do like Wish, Doom Desire, Toxic, Protect, and just get the Doom Desire turns racking up, you know, that kind of thing. It's really powerful to have. Twilight Cannon is just a nuke, 150 base power, -2 offenses. That uses your higher offensive stat, but obviously Umbreon is usually going to have a higher special attack stat. So, Night Daze is 100 base power, 5% chance to miss. Strict upgrade over, well, not strict upgrade because it has a chance to miss, and it's also not reteachable. So Dark Pulse is better because it's reteachable and it can't miss. But Night Daze is 15 base power stronger and only a 5% chance to miss. So pick whichever one you want. If you're not doing a Nuzlocke, I would say Night Daze is definitely better. If you're doing a Nuzlocke though, kind of iffy there, you know. So it's up to you, your personal preference. Same thing for Moonblast versus Dazzling Gleam. There's a 20 base power difference. Dazzling Gleam has a 25% chance to boost special attack, while Moonblast has a 30% chance to drop special attack. And there's a 20 base power difference, and Moonblast has a 5% chance to miss. So Moonblast is 100 base power, 95% accurate. So that's, you know, you pick and choose. Like I said, Intimidate with Parting Shot is great. Reflect Dual Screen, Toxic Spikes, all this is great utility. Umbreon has a lot of stuff. Probably would be the most fun to use. I would say Umbreon and Flareon are my favorites in terms of like the changes, but again, that doesn't make like this is still fun, especially if you like Unga Bunga click button, and you can totally click buttons with all of them. It's just up to your personal preference and whatever you need for your team at that point in time, what type of run you're doing, how experienced you are, how much you can, you know, it's really a lot of variables. That's what I like about Pokemon. So many variables, sometimes too many with the hacks and shit, but I've minimized that or at least made it a lot less stupid, which is great. It still exists because it is Pokemon, that's the game we play, but yeah, thanks for listening to this one, and I'll be I will be 3 more left. Yeah, I could do math in my head. 3 more left, so yeah.